Now, most startups start themselves to become their own boss, their own man, simply because of some real defining factors, such as becoming motivated in extreme circumstances, such as their employment isn't the best, they're getting annoyed by their co-workers, the atmosphere and the culture is quite toxic, and to top it all off, the boss that they have is a complete prick. He literally berates them and harasses the hell out of them and loves to micromanage everyone around him, and he seems to get angry for a very little or no apparent reason. And to be honest, maybe the money's not so great, your finances aren't too great, fantastic, and you're literally struggling to make ends meet. So the prime drive in itself, I mean, the main question that you guys will be asking is, how do I improve my current situation? Well, we've got an answer for that. Hi everyone, I'm Russ Oliver, the Small Business Mentor, featuring also on the Small Business Motivation Podcast and the various social media platforms that I do have, which I'll blast right out there, okay, and basically go to my website and you'll see all the social media platforms that we have. The 5-year road plan, okay, it is a road plan to success. Wherever you want to set your goals out to become a multi-millionaire business owner, a very successful one by the way, to have that ability to own your own homes, own your apartment block, and also maybe just to buy that Ferrari on the old weekend just to show off in front of your friends, that sort of thing. But however, whatever goals that you're wanting to gain, whether to become a bodybuilder, a fitness freak, lose weight, hey, this plan here that I am going to demonstrate to you is actually very customizable. It's just a tool that you can use, and businesses use this, okay? Not only is it here to state your objectives, your goals, but also the action plans, the strategy of an action plan that will literally get you going. Now, as you can see here, the current situation, you need to list the issues that you currently are having that are stopping you from moving forward, wherever it's your bills, wherever it's your financial capabilities, not able to earn enough money, you're struggling to budget, that sort of stuff, struggling to lose weight, and also every single issue, and also note down the skills that you currently have. If you currently work for a multimedia company and you're very, very fluent in social media jargon, just put your skills down, because that's going to become handy a little bit later on. So wherever that you are struggling financially with your workplace, your bosses screaming down your neck, and of course you're broke as if, and you're just wanting to stick it to the man and pull that middle finger. However, all of that, is pretty much the foundation where you're currently at, and you do need to literally state your current situation so that you can actually start developing your roadmap. And here is, right, the next best thing is literally you're wanting to also list down the future state that you want, okay? List the attributes, the characteristics that you are wanting to have in the future, whether you want to become a multi-millionaire, own your own home, have your first home, lose 80 kgs, become a business expert, a bit of an advisor consultant, and literally own your own Ferrari, that sort of stuff. List all of that down, because literally you are going to find the initial ingredients, the objectives, the goals that you need to actually get there. Okay, so now that you've got these two lists, you're wanting to put them sort of the current state that you have to the left and the future state to the right, and I've probably got my hands wrong way around, but that's okay. All right, and in the middle there, you are going to state specific goals, okay? Objectives per year, that is the case there, and it might take a little bit longer. If you want to make it shorter, like say a 3-year plan, then by all means do so, and I will tell you and show you how to structure this so you can actually turn it into action. Okay, and as we start going through this process, as you can see in your future state, within the first year you need to write down your goals in itself, because the first year goals needs to be achievable, it needs to be realistic, and it needs to be attainable as well. So for instance, maybe make a profit of 30 grand, gain market shares in that too. So before we even start, obviously if you're wanting to become a person that's making six figures, you've got to have your own business or sell a shitload of properties. But hey, budget conscious people, like most of us here, we just don't have that amount of cash. So we need to establish ourselves a business and establish a 5-year plan with that, and this is the first year. And on the right hand side is the list of goals that we're going to try to start off with, just to get the ball rolling. Okay, so this is pretty much a huge list, and it may seem to be really difficult to achieve, but just remember that you are just setting up, okay, and that is the hardest work of all, and it will take you a few months of your startup to actually get the gears and the cogs reeling, just like that. So before you do anything, you need to kick off your market research, and this is the advice that I give to every one of my clients, that if you don't do your market research, you're setting yourself up to failure, okay? You might be trying to promote your services or products to someone that actually doesn't want it, or someone that actually doesn't give a crap, okay? So let's be a realistic team, let's get this ball rolling, and once your market research is sorted, then you can actually get through the rest of the processes too. Let's just say that your market research is good, okay? It's looking pretty promising, and people are liking what you have to offer. The next things that you need to do is actually set up your website, set up your hosting companies, negotiate a few prices, make sure it's worth value for money. And if you're not certain about websites themselves and how it's all structured and how to go about creating and developing it, the best thing to do is actually talk to a website hosting company, and they can actually get you the right tools, the right advice as well. But sure enough, once you've done that and you're getting some money coming in, contact the tax department, which in New Zealand's case is Inland Revenue, and literally contact the company's office as well if you are wanting to set up a liability company in itself, or some sort of company. So just be careful how you literally structure your business. If you're so small, my hindsight says go as a sole trader, alright? So because you're not making much money, you're a sole trader, but however, all of your finances, your incomes, your expenses need to be held to account. So I would strongly suggest you get some sort of cash book going, get an accountant on board, and discuss your options before you actually start implementing your business structure as well. This is vitally important, and there is a whole list of other stuff that we've got as well, as such as a business plan and a marketing plan. These are comprehensive documents, okay, and I strongly stress that you actually do them to the best of your ability. And if you want to, just go to russell-oliver.com, and I've got some free templates for you to use. Your business plan, marketing plans, whatsoever. And hey, you'll definitely get the ball rolling. So I'm going to discuss right now, basically, one of the first goals, which is the market research, or the first task, okay, on that particular list down the left there in the startup phase, which is market research. So we'll go into that, and I will discuss an action plan and how it works for that particular task. So here's the market research task, okay? She is a bit of a beast, and so I've put down the time duration is 2 weeks. Literally, I thought 1 week was, a little bit too, short, a little bit too short for me to implement, to study, to analyse and everything else. So 2 weeks is pretty much long enough for me to kickstart. But the thing is that you can't wait for clients to come along and purchase your products. Just because you've got a website up and running, you've got a shop or whatsoever, The matter of the fact is people actually don't know you, they don't know your offers, they don't even know what you're trying to sell. And the thing is, you need to make the effort to actually attract them head on. So this is where market research comes into play. It has a bit of a double-edged sword, all right? So I'll explain that in time. So the first thing that you need to do is figure out what type of research do you need to do. Surveys, polls, discussions, do a bit of social networking as well. The best polls I can and surveys that I can suggest is Facebook polls as well, because you need to integrate with a particular community or a Facebook group within your niche. That's right, that's important. Do not be salesy. Ask a genuine question, okay, and make it turn into a discussion. That's why you can get some sort of proper feedback as well. Also, one of the things is if you have like say chocolates or sweets and that, and you're trying to sell those products, open up a stall in your local marketplace, talk to the local market holders, and just sort of get a gauge and ask the people there how much are they willing to pay for the stuff, okay, and make sure that they say give you appropriate feedback. Sorry about that. Also hand out free samples in return for feedback too. Ask them if it's nice, is it too bitter, too sweet, that sort of thing. Is it easy to operate, just ask genuine questions, get some awesome ass feedback. And when you do, document it all down. The other thing is talk to your target audience as well. Record their age, figure out where they're from, what's male, female, what their likes are, what their dislikes are, okay, and basically having a genuine discussion with them. It will simply give you brownie points as well, all right, and test their reactions to your services and products. So basically you're wanting to see how they react. Are they smiling, or they're frowning, or they think it's, whoa, this is a bit too much. Especially with people that make candles and soaps and stuff. People like to smell them, and you can actually tell by the reaction. Oh, the raspberry soaps are really good. Oh, that tastes nice. That sort of thing. And once you gain that reactions, you've got a positive. You got a positive vibe with what you're offering as well. Next thing is test the budget, okay? So how much can your clients afford? How much are they willing to spend on your products? If they can't quite afford it at the moment, are you able to offer a payment plan? Do you do finance? Maybe something to look into as well. Also, the other thing is make sure you do a break test analysis, because you need to figure out if you can actually afford to support whatever you're offering as well. So how much does it cost to literally develop, create and distribute the products? Do your break test analysis and gather up all the other information at the end of your research, and right there you have the ingredients of your viable service, okay? If it costs too much, however, and it's a little bit slow going, then you might want to go back and refine a few things as well. So that's an action plan and process, step by step. Right, it's important to implement some goals, okay? Some timelines for your goals. So literally, we've got here a 3-month type graph to implement and carry out some, the market research, the setup, promotions and all that other stuff. And it's very clear, defined and cut and mustard. Okay, you need to make sure that you use the SMART technique, which is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and maybe tangible. I don't know what the T stands for. I keep forgetting A, so that's kind of bad. But we'll get there. And make sure that it is literally realistic. If you think to yourself that it's a little bit too much, then you might need to review that as well. But this is how it works. Give yourself some time goals, okay? Do not specify these goals without specifying a specific period of time to do them in. Otherwise, you'll never get it done. Simple as that. Alright, as you can see here, year 2, okay, you're pretty much done and dusted. year 2 is pretty much when you're just starting to get into the swing of things, get into the motions, and you need to identify your specific goals. So basically, January and December are the very quiet months here in New Zealand, especially for Christmas holidays, school holidays, and that. School doesn't generally kick off until around about close to February. So you've got to be wary of that. Your trading is literally going to be quite slow. So this is the time of self-reflection. Okay, refine your market research. Start negotiating new hosting companies and re-establish your specific task for year 2. So as you can see to the right hand side, we've got some new goals, more of interest than the first year, but however it's realistic, it's attainable, because the performance of last year was quite good. However, you need to do better, and you need to do better each time. So once you have these goals established for the end of the year, then you can actually literally identify the tasks that are needed to obtain these goals. Sweet. So as you can see in the year 3 planning phase, it's time to do some battle. You should gain enough confidence, enough nous to start operating your business effectively, fine-tune some of your processes, refine your market research in January during that time of reflection, and also just make sure, especially on the right hand side of the screen here, that you are able to attain the goals that you've set out for yourself. Once you've established the goals, once again list all the tasks that you need to do to obtain them. Okay, list all your sub goals, I should say, and carry out an action plan per goal, per task whatsoever. And that way you can actually get into the swing of things. Now this is the time in the period where you start to become transitioning from being amateur to a starting to divulge yourself into becoming a bit of an expert in your field. And this is where you need to start becoming a bit of a network leader, a business leader of some sorts. Get involved with some business groups, some other groups, and if you're wanting that extra exposure, do a bit of mentoring on the side as well for other like-minded business entrepreneurs. And once again, yes, like I said, the goals are more of interest in year 3, but however, you must set yourself up ready to do battle, because you're being noticed right now. You're being, you're being sought after, and your competition is now looking for ways to actually exploit your weaknesses. So I'll strongly suggest that you do the same to them. Do a SWOT analysis. If you don't know what that is, I'll be doing some content about it later on. However, as at this stage, you need to start to stormproof yourself, stormproof your business, and start to implement processes so that you can keep obtaining and completing your objectives that you've set out for the end of the year. Alright, year 4, this is where you're on fire, you're motivated, you're driven, you've got that entrepreneurial spirit. Alright, and you're going to start off, like I said before, in January to do a bit of self-reflection, making sure that your processes are in check, refining your business plans, your marketing plans, and also start analysing the past data that you have, and refine and evolve your business processes, because you should be very, very confident. You're now considered a bit of a leader out there, and you're going to actually go and complete your end of the 4-year objective. Okay, so when you start doing your 5th year, you actually 5 years into it, you're going to obtain that goal of 6 figures, driving around in that Ferrari and making sure that you are a very dominant, prominent force in your niche, in your industry, and making sure that you're going to become a bit of an expert, an advocate, and be able to provide some sort of advice to your networking peers. And hey, you might as well just create a network group of your own while you're at it. That way you're going to get some more exposure as well. So this is pretty much how it absolutely works, is that at the end of the year in December, you are going to obtain your main objectives. Sweet, so that's pretty much it in regards to creating your 5-year road plan. It is a bit of a journey, especially when you're wanting to improve your certain lifestyle. And the struggle there is real. It's not supposed to be easy, it's really hard. And if you are starting out and you're planning all this stuff, make sure that you actually implement your family and any other sort of things in life that are very important to you and with your plan as well. Because if you don't and you exclude some, the people that are very important to you are actually going to get quite annoyed as well. So please make sure that you take into consideration, okay, and I must say, take into consideration that your journey is not going to be easy to start off with. It is going to be hard. Okay, you are not going to know everything. So seek advice, seek a bit of guidance, seek mentorship, if you will. Engage in various networking groups and gain everyone else's insights. You're going to know who your friends are. You're going to know who your friends are not. Alright? And this is the thing, and you're going to rub people up the wrong way. And if you're rubbing people up the wrong way and you're not being a complete prick, what I mean by that is you're not deliberately out there to stamp on people, you're there to self-develop yourself, your business and your organisation, whatever, and you're doing these things the right way, you're going to rub people up the wrong way regardless, because they want the slice of the pie. Alright, that's simple as that. They want in the spotlight, they're wanting what you are striving to get, okay? And if they see that and they start complaining and start literally hating on you whatsoever, 9 times out of 10 they get in the wrong end of the stick. Then put it into this context that you're actually doing something right. Okay, don't let them put you down, don't let them drag you through the mud. Make sure that you just, grow a bit of a thick skin and actually get on with it and keep ploughing through. That is very important, because at the end of the day, you're only trying to improve your lifestyle, your family's lifestyle, improve your income, improve your ability to actually financially afford things, because that's what we all set out to do. We set out to actually get out there, make some money, so that we can actually provide for our family and for the people that we, that are important to us. That's pretty much that in a nutshell. But however, there are going to be a lot of obstacles out there. You're going to be crying in some, sometimes you're going to think to yourself, I just want to fucking lay in bed all day and not wake up till 11 o'clock in the morning, that sort of thing. The advice I can give to you on that is actually force yourself to go out for a run in the mornings, do something early hours to exercise the body so you can exercise the mind as well. Keep learning as well. It is very important, because the studies themselves are actually going to help you, and there are people out there who say, waste of time, money, waste of effort. No, it's all bullshit. That is completely ludicrous, to be honest. You need, because accountants themselves, they need to have their business degree. That's a prerequisite, and they need to get their certifications and all that other type of stuff. However, people like me, I'm not an accountant, but however, I do find the materials that I've learned and implemented very, very useful, okay? Because learning from your own mistakes is a very slow process. However, learning from everyone else's mistakes can be quite quick. Alright, and that's what these studies are all about. Implementing your business plan, implementing a marketing plan, making sure it's effective, and you get to learn all about the processes within these marketing strategies, tactics, and all that type of stuff, that you can actually start to streamline your business. And when you do that, man, your business is going to evolve efficiently and more easily, just like that. So that's enough from me, Russell Oliver here, the Small Business Mentor. Thank you very much, and I will catch you later. And by the way, I am getting assessed on my Bachelor of New Zealand Business here on the Marketing Control and Management paper. I do believe it's 648. Tutored by Renu Joshi. She is one of the lead tutors in marketing for the Open Polytech And thanks everyone.